Hey guys, and welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 2. We are continuing with the measuring and constructing of segments. In your notes from the previous day, we stopped and had a few questions left over. That's okay. We're going to make sure we cover those in class, so you want to make sure you bring those notes with you, that way we can fill them in. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started on the next slide. This is our last construction. We are going to be constructing a perpendicular line from a point. Now, if you'll notice, this point C is not on the line. In our previous case, and I'll actually flip back so you can see what I'm talking about right here. Okay, we had a line segment at point A and point B, and then we found the perpendicular bisector. Okay, in this problem, this is actually a line, not a line segment, meaning it goes on forever left and right. And I need to create a perpendicular line that goes through point C and crosses this line. Okay, so you should have your notes in front of you. Make sure that you have your compass in front of you as well as your straight edge. If you don't, go ahead and pause the video, gather your supplies, and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is put our point on point C, or whatever point it is that we're trying to draw a point. Okay, you can open your compass to any length at this point, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an arc through my line. Okay, so remember, an arc's just a part of the circle here. Alright, and I'm going to label the points A and B. So this point right here, let's label it A, and then let's label this point B. Those are the two intersection points of our arc and the line that we were given. Alright, so now let's go to put our point on point A. Okay, and you want to make sure that your compass is open more than halfway between A and B. Now make an arc, and then make sure you don't change the compass width. That's really important, okay? And I want you to put your point on B and draw another arc, okay? Okay, now you can go ahead and put your compass away for now, okay? What that means is, and I want to get a line tool out here. Give me just a second. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to connect point C and these two intersection points. Now, if you want to, you can just connect the two intersection points, and what you should see is that it will go through point C. So it's a little hard sometimes, depending on the size of your marker or the size of the pencil in your compass. It might be slightly off, but this is what we're looking for. Notice that the line, the perpendicular line, goes through the two intersections of the chord and through point C. Okay? So that is step 4. Now the line that we have created is a perpendicular line. Now it can't be a bisector. The reason for that is you can't bisect a line, because a line goes forever. How do you cut it in half? Okay, how do you know where half of forever is? Okay? Alright, so let's go on to the next problem. Okay? What I'd like to do is, make sure you have your compass again, is we are going to combine the segment addition postulate that we did in the first lesson, as well as copying a line segment that we did in the first lesson. What you're going to do is you're going to need to create a segment who is both AB plus CD. So what you're going to do first and foremost is you're going to create a really, really long line. Okay, and the reason for that is remember, when you're copying a line segment, you have to create a line that is longer than necessary so that you can cut it down to the pieces you need. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy line segment AB. Okay, so let's get that nice, as close as we can. Alright, and I'm going to copy that right here on this segment. Okay, so this right here is, oops, excuse me about that. I will fix that. There we go. This is our new A prime and B prime. Okay, now I want to make it AB plus CD. So if I measure CD and put it directly at the end, so I went from A to B, and now B all the way out here, the length of CD. Okay, so then let's put our compass away. And right here, from this point to this point is a segment whose length is AB plus CD. So I'm going to erase what's left over. Alright, so this right here is my new segment. Alright, now this one's a little different because it says CD minus AB. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a long line, kind of like what we did in the first problem. Okay? And you're going to measure CD. Notice how it's written in the problem that CD goes first. So let's deal with CD first. Alright, so let's get this as close as we can. We want to be as precise as possible. Alright, let me go ahead and move my ruler. And I will mark CD. So right here is my new line. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to erase the rest of this because this right here is my new C prime D prime. It is a segment that is the same length as CD up here. Alright, now it says to subtract AB. So I would take this segment, measure AB's width, there we go, so measure it out with your compass, okay? And what you can do is you can either cut a piece from either end. So what you can do, and I'll do this, I'm going to go to the end of the segment and I'm going to mark the length of AB. Okay? So I had CD and now I'm going to subtract the length of AB. So what's going to happen is I'm going to subtract this. And now we have our new segment length, and this right here is the length of CD minus AB. Alright, now this one, we need to make a triangle that has one side length of CD and two side lengths of AB. So again, the first thing you're going to do is copy line segment CD. In order to do that, you're going to need to go ahead and create a line somewhere on the paper. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. And then measure CD with your compass. Oops, my compass. There we go. Measure CD, being precise as possible. And go ahead and copy CD. So there it is. I'll erase this. And this is the one side length that is CD. So I'm going to mark this as C prime, D prime. Okay? And the next thing that we need to do is we need to measure side length AB. So put your compass on AB here and here. Now the problem is, if I create an arc for AB, let's say here, well, where would I connect point C prime to this arc? Okay? As of right now, we can't tell. So what we need to do is actually create the same arc over here from point D prime. And what that's going to show me is where I need to connect C prime and D prime to make my third angle of my triangle. Notice that I did not change the width of my compass when I did this. So what that means, and I'm going to get my little line tool here, is that from C prime to the intersection of these 2 points will give me the length AB. Okay, so I guess we can call this A prime or B prime, it's up to you. What that means is this is part of a circle and this is part of a circle. Because we didn't change the width of the compass, the radii for each one is the same length. It's AB's length. So I can prove that this side and this side are the same. They are AB's length. Let's say, do you want to check? Alright, so let's grab our compass and you can verify. Put your compass to the width of AB, excuse me, and then measure it. Yep. And then switch sides. And yep. Okay. So I'm going to get that out of the way. Alright, so let's continue working with the segment addition postulate. Okay? What I'd like for you to do is go ahead and pause the video. Try these 2 problems on your own using the notes from Unit 1, Lesson 1 as your guide. Okay? So take a pause and try these problems now. Alright, so what you can see here is I've already drawn 2 lines for each one of these problems. Now, they did not give you a picture like we did in Unit 1, Lesson 1. So we have to draw this ourselves. And where you're going to find the majority of your information is right here in the very beginning. It says y is between x and z. Okay, well when something is between, it must be in the middle, or not quite directly in the middle, excuse me. Alright, so we'll say this is x, and this is z, and y is somewhere in between x and z. Alright, so let's just take a pick anywhere. How about right here? We'll call this y. Okay? Now, we can use the rest of our information. It says xz is 3, so x to z will be 3 units long. X to y, so x to y is 1 1/3. Find the length of yz. So the question is what is this length here? Question mark. Okay? So what we actually need to do according to the segment addition is that we actually need to subtract. If 3 is the whole piece, we're going to subtract 1 1/3 in order to find the length of yz. And what you get is 1 2/3. Okay? Now for the next problem, same thing. You have to label your line. Okay, notice this line's a whole lot longer. It actually doesn't matter. Okay, you draw it how long you want it to be. It is your representation. Alright, so B is between A and C. So here's A and C, and B needs to be somewhere. Alright, so let's put B here, just because I felt like it. Okay? Now, A, we're going to use the rest of our information. It says that AB is 4x, so A to B is 4x. B to C is 2x minus 1, so B to C is 2x minus 1. And AC is 11, so the whole thing is 11. And we're asked to solve for x. So we're not actually looking for a side length here. We're looking for x. Alright? So let's see. Segment addition postulate says that I need to add the 2 pieces of the line to equal the whole line. So 4x plus 2x minus 1 equals 11. Okay? The 2 smaller pieces add up to be the bigger piece. So what we're going to do is combine like terms. 4x plus 2x is 6x. Bring down your minus 1. Oops, that's an 11. There we go. Let's go ahead and add 1 to both sides. We are using our algebra skills here. 6x equals 12. Divide both sides by 6. X must be equal to 2. Okay? So now here's the thing. You have to be really careful. Let's say that the problem said, what is the length of AB? Well, can we find the length of AB? We can. If we know that x is 2 and the length of AB is 4x, then isn't AB just 4 times 2? Instead of 4 x's, that would be 8. So you have to be very careful about reading the problem and making sure that you understand what the problem is asking for. You can't just ignore those words and start looking at numbers, okay? That's what geometry is all about, and that's what the new Georgia milestones will be about, okay? So if you have any questions, just email me and let me know. Make sure you have your notes. We can go over this, and I will see you in class.